Please welcome Namrita Anchan DTM, an immediate past District 73 Director, with her presentation, How to Run Club Elections and Transformative Leadership.
My journey into leadership started with someone tapping me on the shoulder and just saying, hey, you know what? I see potential in you and you can do it. Give it a go. That's all. And just that one statement, you have potential, give it a go. That thing, it stayed with me. It triggered a ripple effect in my mind, and it led to something that I couldn't have imagined, that I would be taking on leadership roles in the last 4-5 years that I have been taking on. I would have never thought about it 6 years ago. And that is what we need to do. And as Mark mentioned early on, staying in Toastmasters, it is the service factor, and that's what's keeping you on. I think that most of us would be able to relate to. We're going to go through, of course, the technicality of how to run the club elections. And I'm very sure most of us have been part of club elections. Let's look at probably a better way to do it. But mostly, I want to tie up stories with each of our tasks that we have to perform into running club elections. Yeah, let's do it. We don't have much time, and I'm going to try my best to have a interactive session with everyone as well. So yeah, let's do it. I have one question though before we deep dive into the technicality of club elections. How many of us have our lives changed because of leadership, because of a leadership in Toastmasters? Yeah, I can see a lot of hands coming. Yeah, awesome. Does anyone want to very quickly, 30 seconds, want to share just a story around what that leadership was and how did it make a difference in your life? Anyone wants to unmute? I can see Mark unmuting. Mark, do you want to share?
Which Mark?
Oh.
Not me.
Well, I can see Nola. Yes, Nola. Is that by mistake, Nola? We can't hear you. While Nola gets her unmute and mute button, and the award goes to Nola, by the way. Daryl, go for it.
Okay, thank you very much. It's surprising that Nola's quiet.
I know, right?
She's lovely. What I gained out of confidence, I gained confidence from being a committee member because you were involved in the club. And I did some numbers there a little while back about when you're on the committee, you're actually being involved probably at least I calculated over a 6-year period, 10 months, so our committees are running without the holidays. So that's 60 extra times I was actually learning to use my voice over and above normal meetings. And then you take that to another level, then you're as well outside that. So I think it calculated about 120 times extra without speaking, without the normal table topics. I was actually able to gain more confidence. And I think this is the biggest thing that I've learned from being part of a committee. You're doing all those extra things without realizing it.
Yeah. They're great stats, Daryl. Thanks for sharing that. And this is the difference that we can make today. And again, as I'm going to take so many references from Mark's session today, Mark mentioned that one person, he wanted to impact or change one person's life. And that's what we should be taking out of this. And that's what we should be doing after this session is over. I'm quickly going to read through it. Electing the right club officers is crucial for driving your Toastmasters Club success. And This presentation over here will guide through the process of identifying, selecting, and supporting. That's on us. If you're going to make them exceptional leaders, you can steer your club to new heights. This pack will be shared with everyone. You can take it back to your club. You can share it to your club officers, and you can share it probably as a speech if you want, or an educational in your club. And you can educate your club members how to run effective elections. The more members in your club know how to do it the right way, the better your election process would be. The better your election process would be, the better understanding within your club would be. The better understanding, the more enthusiastic, more knowledgeable club officers will step into your club committee. And of course, if you have a good, talented team, your club's going to flourish. So it all starts with this small step. So again, I think we have touched base on importance of effective leadership. One very main important factor, and I think we all understand this in Toastmasters, and that is motivating members. And we start to do this with the first step. That is, the first impressions that we have. Just when a guest walks in, that's when it all starts. The motivating of that particular member or potential member probably starts right in the beginning. So club officers set the tone and they inspire members to actively participate and grow, and which means we need to have that level of club officers within our committee. Achieving goals, strong leadership ensures your club stays focused and accomplishes its objectives. And building community. Again, I think we all know about this. Effective officers foster a welcoming, supportive environment for all members. Election process, which I think everyone wants to know, is first identifying that potential leader. I'm very sure we all know when someone walks in, or probably a new member has joined the club, you kind of place that person. Again, you shouldn't be judging the book by its cover, but you do have a hunch. You do, when you look at people's skill, you do kind of, this person is really good with social media. This member could be our VPPR. Those kind of hunches that you have. So identifying potential leaders, very significant. Start doing that right with your succession planning. Start doing it right when that member joins the club. Yeah. Second one is conduct elections. Now, if you don't conduct elections, a lot of clubs don't conduct elections. We have, because of COVID and because of the impacts that we have had, not many clubs are that strong, which has led to people just putting up their hand, not putting up their hand actually, just our club officers just reaching out to members saying, what, can you please take it? And the member goes, yes, sure, there's no one, let's do it. I would suggest change the narrative of how you're approaching any member. Even if we don't have people to step into those particular club roles, change your narrative. Try to sell it in a way that the person should believe that they are gonna get something out of it, rather than they are giving. Of course, they are giving. Everyone's giving their time, but in my experience with Toastmasters, especially, leave alone any other nonprofit organization or volunteering organization, Toastmasters gives a lot back to the person than what we give it to Toastmasters. The receiving factor is so massive. It's not quantitative, it's very qualitative, but it's so massive. And that's what our narrative should be to a potential member who could be a really good club officer. So one, yes, coming back to the topic though, conduct elections. Very important thing, ensure a fair, transparent process with a quorum of active members who are present there to vote. This goes to the core values of our Toastmasters: integrity and being fair, following the guidelines that we have got from Toastmasters. It only shows that we are fair enough, we are following certain guidelines, and which kind of builds a sense of integrity within the club. So do follow those. And lastly, transition to new officers. Facilitate, I want to call it sessions or events, conduct handover sessions. I have seen clubs these days not having handover sessions. And it takes me back to the day when we had handover sessions. We had formal official handover sessions, and it made me feel so significant and proud of myself to what I am going to be handed over and what my responsibilities would be. Just that evening, just having that handover, just having the gavel from the previous president handed over to you and all of that, those little things, it made a huge difference in how I perceive my own leadership. And that has stayed with me throughout. So the little impression that you make right in the beginning, it flows through for, let's say, that particular person till the end. So it's our duty to have those sessions, to facilitate those sessions in the right way, in the fair way. Before we go on to the next thing, does anyone over here know what's a quorum? Anyone?
It's a minimum number of people that you need for meetings.
Yes, absolutely. Who was that? I'm so sorry. I was frantically trying to find the person.
I think it was Jeffrey.
Jeffrey? Okay.
Jeffrey, yeah. I
Thanks,
can't put a
Jeffrey.
video on it. I can't get my video working.
No worries. But yes, you are right. A quorum is a majority of the active members that is needed to conduct club business, including electing officers. Proxies or absentee ballots are not allowed at the club level, and members must be in good standing and present to vote. So these are a few technicality or the nitty-gritty behind having a quorum, and what are the minimum criteria of members or active members in that quorum. I hope this helps. Moving on, officer roles and responsibilities. Now, I'm very sure we all have stepped into these club officer roles. I just want to highlight 4 of them for today. President provides overall leadership, presides at meetings, and ensures the club's success. I'm not going to read through all of it, but I want to give a note of, again, a tad bit of club elections knowledge here. And that is, when should these club elections happen? So annual office terms must run from 1st of July through to 30th of June. Semi-annual terms must run from 1st of July through December 31st, and then January 1st through June 30th. And holding elections at any other time is in direct conflict with the club constitution for clubs of Toastmasters International and bylaws of Toastmasters International. There are links over here if you're really interested in knowing the details of this. But one of the things that we really need to be mindful of is the timelines and conducting the elections on time. Again, we function in an annual or yearly fashion within Toastmasters, financial year fashion, and submissions are very important to be happening on time because it has a cascading impact or effect. I can't even remember over the last few years or all the roles that I've done and all the submissions that have, and all the deadlines that we have tried to reach or probably meet. But everything literally is based on what you have done at the start of the year. So take note of these times and conduct your elections on time. Identifying future leaders. How many of us, let's say, how many of us have been in the role of president and vice president of education? Okay, quite a few hands. Great. And how many of us actively look for future leaders? What is that one trait that you look for in that particular person? For any role, let's say, for any of the club officer roles.
Someone who's prepared to have a go.
Yep, absolutely, yes. Someone who's ready to do it. That's the first thing. I agree. Yeah. Any other trait that you particularly look into? Yes, Rennis.
Enthusiasm and a willingness to learn and accept feedback.
Absolutely. Accept feedback. And again, this takes me back. Thanks, Glennis. Again, this takes me back to Mark's session where he said that feedback is significant, and you have to be very careful with the feedback because that can, again, Mark didn't say this, but then again, it can go two ways, and how important it can be for a person's growth, or a person who is actually relying on you for getting or an understanding about themselves. So thank you so much, guys. The future leaders, very significant. One way to do it is observe member participation. Look for members who actively contribute, volunteer, and demonstrate leadership qualities. Can you guys throw one or two leadership qualities that you think is our leadership qualities? Anyone? You can unmute and share. One leadership quality. Trish has unmuted. Trish, what's one leadership quality?
Someone who's patient, someone who
I love that.
who listens,
I love that.
but someone who's prepared to take action.
Fabulous. Alicia?
Say that someone who can connect with the people, connect with the members, someone who has courage, and someone who you can trust.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Beautiful. I'll just harp a bit upon the patience trait, and I personally also think that that's very significant. My name, to some extent, it not exactly means patience, but it kind of somehow means patience. And I feel as and when the responsibilities, accountability increases in any leadership role, or the trait of patience, oh my God, you should have it in abundance. So yeah, definitely. But getting back to what we were discussing, leadership, look at people or look at your members who have those leadership qualities. Provide mentorship. This is one of the things that probably we can talk about for hours. And I feel this is one of the favorite topics of any Toastmaster in the world. Mentorship, of offering guidance, offering the right amount of feedback sometimes, and opportunities for members to develop their skills is very significant when you are looking or identifying future leaders. Encouraging officer shadowing. I'm not sure if your club does this, but this is something that you can take back to your club committee, and having your existing club or current club officers shadow potential leaders is like the best way to go about finding or identifying future leaders. Shadowing is not mentoring, slightly different, maybe fine line. Shadowing is more around when you are in a club meeting and you have an experienced member and a new member. You can advise the experienced member to sit with the new member and guide through things just for that particular meeting. Or even it could be just for the speaker session, or the speech session, or the table topic session. You can kind of put them in a kind of, I don't know if a lot of clubs do this, but our club does, that we have these workshops in the club meeting, and we can tie them up together up on the stage. And that's again, that's another way of shadowing. So again, many ways to do it, but this is something that you can definitely offer. Recognize achievements. I don't know how many times we have said this in Toastmasters, but this is absolutely, absolutely important. And if you're talking about Toastmasters, recognizing achievements is important. These little badges, these little this little crown. It means a lot. Maybe not to everyone, but I think to 80%. 80% of the Toastmasters. I might be wrong with the stats, but recognizing, even if it's not important to the person, or the person says, "I know I'm not into the ribbons or the awards or the plaques and all of that," that recognition is putting a smile, is putting a sense of it's putting a sense of achievement into that person. And that's massive. That's your ripple effect that you are creating out over there in that one person. So recognizing achievements is one way, again, a stepping stone towards identifying your future leaders. Yeah. One very quick fact, the frequency of elections depends on how often the club meets. Yeah. Clubs that meet weekly may elect officers annually or semi-annually. I don't know if a lot of people know this. If the club elects semi-annually, elections are held at the first meeting in May and again at the first meeting in November. Yeah. Club that meet less frequently than weekly must elect officers annually, with the elections in May. So next, we are in April, right? Oh my God, we are in April. Next month is your month if you are trying to conduct elections for your club. Did I just say elections? Oh my God. See, Mark, I don't know if you're there. Where are you? I just messed up my very simple words that probably should be coming out after so many years of Toastmastering. It should be coming out correctly. Anyways, transitioning to new officers. Handover documentation. I'm saying documentation, but handovers can be again in different forms. Some clubs I've seen, they have people. They train people up to, or they kind of train them to be mentors for the next club officers. But again, documentation is the norm and what we do. And of course, it's easy to maintain. So handover documentation is very significant. Training and onboarding, provide comprehensive training to equip the new team with the necessary skill. Trust me, we just have 1 year in the role. And if you don't have enough training provided right in the beginning, if you're not giving them that rule book of how to do things within our club, it can take them even more than a year to understand what's happening. And there is not much progress that probably, or not much that they can do to kind of grow your club. So trainings and onboarding significant, continuous support, again, offer guidance and mentorship to the new officers throughout their term. One, again, quick fact, when your club has elected new officers, the current president or secretary should submit their names and contact information to World Headquarters online through Club Central. Every club officer will have access to Club Central, and this should be done when your club has elected new officers. Yeah. I'm not sure if I have this much time to do it with this group. But do we, or Jane, do we have time? No, right? No.
We need to be closing at 8:30.
Sure, I'm going to skip this through, but again, you can use this pack within your club. And if you're using within the club, use this slide. It's a small activity that you can do with your club officers, even in your committee meeting, or you can do it in your club. Very quick fact, if your club is not able to submit its officers list online, you can complete and submit the club and officer information form. So there's a link in here in this pack. Submit 1 copy to your club for its records and 1 copy to World Headquarters via that email. And I'm not sure who uses fax. Yeah. Very quick recap and next steps. Key takeaways. Effective club leadership is crucial for a thriving Toastmasters experience. The election process should be transparent, inclusive, and focused on identifying the best candidate. And this one very quick thing on this one, even if you think, but even if you don't have members who can be potential club officers, doesn't mean that you have to sign them up just to fill in the role. You need to have the right person in the role. There could be help that you could ask for from other officers, but don't have the wrong person in the role. That is causing much more harm than any benefits. So don't fill roles just because you have to. Provide comprehensive training and ongoing support to ensure a smooth transition for new officers, and actively nurture and encourage members with leadership potential. Next steps: review your club's election process and identify areas for improvement. So I thought we'll put a little bit of homework here for all of us to take away with our club committee members. Reach out to your district leadership for guidance and resources. We all are over here to help you out with anything and everything. Start actively engaging and mentoring potential future club leaders. We're already in April. I think it's about time. If you don't do it now, it'll be too late. Implement a comprehensive officer transition plan for your club. And with that, one last thing, deadlines for all submission types are June 30th for annual elections, and June 30th and December 31st for semi-annual elections. Okay. All the important to know that we kind of touch base on in the slide pack are over here for your reference. The main one has been highlighted in yellow. And with that, I think I'm very much over time. So I'm going to hand it back to Janine, but I hope some of the information was helpful to you. The main thing is identify those potential leaders and go and create that ripple effect out over there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Namrita, for sharing that wonderful, thorough, comprehensive presentation, inspiring us all to search for the next leaders in our club and make sure we have a strong succession plan and good leadership moving forward.